Hey everybody, this is Sit Paint and Play, and we are going to do another What Army Should I Bring? To be perfectly honest with you, this is going to be my Dark Eldar. I personally am not going to do a Eldar version of this. Why, you may ask? Personally, I am not a huge fan of elves. Why is that? I don't know. Something weird about them. Something is just, they're too dainty, I don't know. They're just, it's not aesthetically, it's this beautiful and perfect and just, like it's a dove, like I don't want to touch it. I'm afraid I'll break it. I kind of like the nittier grittier armies, like orcs, or heavier and more intense stuff. And these guys, for whatever reason, Dark Eldar remind me more of like demons in a way, so I don't feel as weird playing them. So, basically, the idea of this video series, like I've said before, is to give you weapons ideas that you can equip to the squads of your choice, and it kind of gives you an idea of what you need to bring, and you can kind of decide based on, you know, the other player, like what the other player's bringing, like if you need a little bit more vehicles, more troops, things of that sort of nature. This one, in a way, is a little bit live, per se, even though it is recorded. I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm not going to lie. So, I'm going to be looking on my phone here. I have the Dark Eldar Codex. So, I'm going to be looking through their weapons, kind of scoping everything out, giving you ideas of what you're going to want to bring. Sorry if I'm like looking at my computer, phone, stuff like that. But what you're going to want to bring against certain armies. So, like always, I'm going to start with Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines. Things that are going to be punching holes in their armor. Blast pistols, blasters, Dark Lance, Dark Scythe, Disintegrator cannons, Eye Burst. For some troops, the Haywire Blaster and Heat Lance for sure. That was like, that's pretty much a multi-melta. It's 18 inches, strength 6, AP 1. Hex Rifle. That could potentially kill like some scouts or a lighter type of unit. Implosion missiles. Liquefier gun, depending on depending on, I guess, what you roll, because it's a D6. Roll for this weapon's AP value each time it's fired after a target has been chosen. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else. The Osa Factor, Spirit Sphinx, Spirit Vortex, Splinter Cannon, Splinter Pistol, Splinter Pods, Splinter. Oh, I'm sorry. Ixnay those Splinter weapons. Void Lance and Void Mine. We're getting into the melee weapons here. So Agonizers, Archetype Glaives, single double-handed, single Demi-Claves. I know that you can get those like the sergeants of the Cobalite Warriors. Jeez Louise, like all these guys, that's like all they are is AP. Good God. So anyways, that's just some of them. I'll let you guys get into those a little bit more, but that's what I would bring weapon-wise when facing Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines. With Dark Eldar, you are fast, so I know bikes are a huge thing for you guys. So, or however you want to, like a speeder, I guess. Sorry, I'm down here in this dungeon of our garage, so it is a little dusty. So you're going to want to bring lots of lances to get rid of their armor. Pretty much like more than half their weapons are going to be able to penetrate any Marine's armor. So I mean, I guess you're going to be wanting to bring things like the Shard Carbine, which is an Assault 3. You know, let me get back to some of the other stuff. Now, the things that are stronger are, what I'm seeing, are typically a little lower than a little lower in their range, but they are stronger the closer you get. So I guess with the Eldar, the whole idea is to get on all of your ships and stuff like that, and your get like your splinter racks going with your splinter cannons and stuff like that, your splinter rifles, and get in there and get shooting at the Marines and stuff like that. It's kind of just like a drive-by type thing in a way. Well, they technically are pirates, so that might be how they work. God, I need to hurry up. I'm already 5 minutes in. So I would do that. Lances, the heat lance, definitely for tanks and stuff like that, is going to be important. So I've heard of people putting those on the speeders before, I'm pretty sure. So those definitely could help. Moving on, we are going to say you're doing other Dark Eldar. I would bring lances, disintegrator cannons, haywire blasters, heat lances, liquefier gun, blasters. There's a whole bunch of stuff I'm sure I'm missing, but those are all like generally good things. Basically, when you're fighting other Eldar or Dark Eldar, you're going to want to take out the transports, because if you put them on foot, then pretty much any template weapon or salvo of shots are going to go ahead and take out those weaker armored guys. Moving on to Astra Militarum. One thing. So they have grenade launchers that are blasts. The Dark Scythe is a blast. It is also a lance, so that'd be great for going up against tanks and stuff like that. Necrotoxic missiles, 48 inches, strength 1, but they're assault 1 fleshbane. So a large blast, 1 use. So I'm not sure what those are attached to, but if you're fighting guard or Tyranids, fleshbane would be. So that'd be pretty sick. Let's see what else. Shatterfield missiles would be top notch for hunting down their strength 7, AP nothing, 48 inch. I know those come on the Razor Wings or the bombers. The bombers, that's what they come on. So you could throw a bunch of those on a bomber and nuke the crap out of that Astra Militarum or the Tyranids, or even orcs. Definitely any horde army, that's for sure. So, like I said, lances and disintegrator cannon. I think a lot of their vehicles are going to be mostly the only things that are going to be able to attack other vehicles. Most of their troops have strong weapons, but they are weaker. They're not strong enough to get through vehicles, but they definitely can slaughter the masses. So got those. You got your incubi. I know those guys are intense. If you have an Archon, you can give him, what is it called? It is a Huskblade. It is a strength user, AP3, melee, instant death. Get one of those guys in combat, you could be taking out warlords all day. So let's see, what else? We're moving on to orcs. So blast template weapons, lances to take out the trucks. You blow those up, you immobilize the orcs. Getting into close combat with orcs can be dangerous, so gun them down as much as possible. You have a lot of poison weapons, so that can take care of that problem for you. Same thing with Tyranids. You're going to want a few stronger things like your heat lance, your dark lance, things like that, to take out the heavier enemies. But you're definitely going to want like heavier large blast missiles and stuff like that to get rid of the little guys from your bombers, so you can just strafe over, take them out, not have to worry about them with your troops. Definitely a glass hammer army. Let's see, who else? If you're fighting Tau, let's see, the best thing you're probably going to want to do is, it's one of those things where you're going to want to keep your distance, so you're going to want to be getting dark lances on them, disintegrator cannons, hex rifles, implosion missiles, monoscythe missiles, necrotoxin missiles. Those are all definitely going to be types of things that are more long range, that are going to help you kind of take care of those guys. Shatterfield missiles, splinter cannons, sulfurite, void lance. So lots of lances, lots of cannons, lots of missiles. Those are all going to help you keep your distance from the Eldar. With this, I would definitely almost want to say don't, because it's hard to park and cover and just fire at the Tau because they have their marker lights, so they can kind of ignore most of your cover a good chunk of the time if they bring them. So kind of got to be careful with that. Let's see, if we're facing demons, as far as I know, Dark Eldar can have a decent amount of psychic ability, so you can kind of battle them. This is one of the first armies that I mentioned that can kind of do that. So in a way, you can kind of battle them and have somewhat of a more upper hand in some of that because you do have psychic to kind of fight back a little bit. Now, if I were you, I would definitely not be worrying about taking lances and stuff like that. I'll be looking at your template weapons, your blast weapons, your template weapons like your liquefier gun and stuff like that, because you are eventually going to end up getting into close combat with these guys. So definitely bringing some incubi, things like that. They're definitely a stronger melee type character for the entire game. Then Necrons, I would bring a boatload of lances and anything that's like AP2. Seriously. Necrons are a pain in the butt. They have, or even AP3, because they have a 4+ armor save. So you could definitely easily take care of those guys. That might be an army that you might not have a problem with, because you can kind of zip around them a little bit, heat lance their, or get a good just Dark Lance shot or whatever in on some of their bigger vehicles like their HQ's chariot, their monoliths, things like that. Definitely be careful with getting into close combat with things like wraiths. So you have the upper hand with speed. You are pretty weak. I think most of their guys are 5+, 6+ saves, armor saves. You do have some pretty intense melee combat guys, so don't forget about them. But definitely focus on having, for all the armies, what are those called? It's not a defiler, goodness gracious. It's a, like they're little ships. They look like battleships. It always bugs the crap out of me. I'm like, why do they have sails? But, so like the ones that look like the little battleships, and then your Venoms and other things like that, you're definitely going to be able to use the lances and stuff off of those to take out enemy armor, and then move your melee units in that are you typically going to have like assault type weapons. So you get 2 shots, you have a group of 10 guys, there's 20 shots, take out 3 or 4 guys, and then get in and finish it off. So typically that's what happens. Definitely focus on upgrading your sergeants. That is going to give you quite a bit of an upper hand. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry it was kind of a live event, quote unquote, even though it's recorded. It's not that I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I am just not familiar, per se, with the Eldar, Dark Eldar. That's why I really kind of stay away from the Eldar period, and I really don't like them aesthetically. The Dark Eldar, for me personally, are a little bit more like demon looking, so I can handle them, but I, honest to God, I've never played anybody, and many wargaming only, and the few battle report channels that I watch and stuff like that, I only have a handful of battle reports for the Dark Eldar. And typically they're running the exact same list over and over and over. So they might just be one of those armies. This is what you run, and that's pretty much it. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Give me a comment below. Please educate me on this army. Please, 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 please. I would love to get into this army. It will be one of the very last I ever get into. I have Orcs, Astra Militarum. I've got my Tau started a little bit. I have Space Marines, Tyranids. Jesus Christ, I have a lot. I have Chaos. God, how do I have all this? I don't remember buying it all. And Necrons. So honestly, outside of Demons, which is kind of going to be part of my Chaos Space Marine army, I think I have like one of everybody almost. So I'm pretty much missing the Dark Eldar. But that'll be the very last army that I collect. Why? They're weird. They're kind of creepy. So reading their fluff and stuff, I'm going to have to really become hardened and callous to some of the weird stuff that I read in 40K and some of the fluff. So, I don't know. I'll get to it when the time comes. So, anyways, guys, good luck with building your armies, and like I said, educate me below. I am more than willing to learn. So, anyways, have a good day.